Of Portland is grieving this morning after a firefighter and a member of the town's Board of Selectmen was hit and killed last night while trying to cross the street. We have the details on that coming up.
But I do not believe the students of the system should be punished for the mistakes of the executive.
Well, the state said it found questionable spending in its audit of the state colleges and universities system. We'll tell you what the report accused the chancellor of doing with some of that money.
And a suspect is in police custody this morning after a shooting hurt a person in a West Hartford neighborhood. Well, people who live there say they saw and heard.
All local, all morning. This is Fox 61, Connecticut's news station.
6 o'clock on this Wednesday. Thursday?
Thursday.
Oh, goodness. 6 o'clock on this Thursday morning. Good morning, sunshine. Thank you for joining us here on Fox 61. At least I know where I'm at.
Yeah, okay.
I'm Symphony Privet.
And I'm Tim Lammers. Listen, I know yesterday both my wife and I thought that it was a Wednesday that felt kind of like it should have been Thursday, Matt Scott.
You know what? I at dinner last night, I said, man, this week should be over by now, and it's only Wednesday. So you're not far off. So we'll give you that pass. Good morning to you on this. Wait for it. Thursday. Here's what you need to know before you go. We are talking about a relatively quiet day ahead. We've got, the roads are still wet in some parts from last night's rain, so watch for a few slippery spots. Some temperatures close to freezing, not many. Few flakes on the way coming in tomorrow night. Not worried about that at all. It's just a few snow showers. But Arctic cold, I think that's the big story as we go from your Thursday well through the weekend. We'll talk about that coming up. Satellite radar pictures got a few clouds. They're thinning out, looking for a decent amount of sunshine. A little bit of lake effect snow holding together, getting down into the Catskills. Not really concerned with that. Maybe a couple clouds. All right, here are the numbers. And I mentioned one or two you might be close to freezing. Torrington at 35, New Milford 36, Waterbury as well. The rest of the board is okay. Upper 30s in the quiet corners, low 40s at the shore. But we got about half an inch of rain last night. And some of it is, not some of it, most of it is still kind of, dampening up the roads out there. So if you're in way high elevations where the numbers are close, be mindful of that. It's the exception and not the rule deal. 38 as we look for some sunshine, giving way to some clouds later on today. Temperatures getting into the lower 40s. We're backing off those highs considerably. And wait till you see how low they're going to be in the 70s. We'll talk about that in detail coming up in a few minutes on this
Thursday, a.k.a. Friday.
I was going to say, of all the days, you're usually good with Thursday Eve and Friday. So that's this one's you're a little off your game today.
Got it.
Get
all right.
back on there. All
3
right.
minutes in, I'm on track.
You got it.
This morning, quick look at our Hartford drive times. No delays to report. 84 interchange. Looking good, and the commute along 84 East heading toward the Hartford Tunnel from the New Britain Ave area. That's going to take you about 5 minutes. Also a quick commute along Route 2 West from Glastonbury to the Founders Bridge.
The first responder community is grieving yet again this morning after another firefighter was hit and killed by a car last night.
Yeah, it has been a difficult few months for firefighters across Connecticut. This marks the third firefighter death recently. Fox 61's Lindsay Kane is live in Portland this morning with what we know so far. Lindsay.
Hi, good morning. Well, Portland police say 58-year-old Sean Manning was hit and killed by a pickup truck last night while he was trying to cross the street. Now, Manning was serving as a firefighter here in Portland, and he was also on the Board of Selectmen. Now, police say the crash happened around 6:30 last night on Main Street, which is near the Portland Police Department. The driver of the pickup truck did remain on scene and is cooperating with the investigation. Manning, again, was 58 years old. He had been serving as a firefighter since 1984 and was in his first term on the Board of Selectmen. According to the town's website, there was a town meeting scheduled for 7 p.m. last night. Now, this crash happened just a half an hour before that meeting, near where that meeting was being held. But we're working to find out if Manning was on his way to the meeting at the time of the crash. The firefighter community is mourning Manning's death, and this is shortly after two other firefighters were also killed recently. Weathersfield firefighter Robert Sharkovich died while he battled the fire on Lamentation Mountain in October. A week later, Peter Blomberg, the assistant fire chief for the Botsford Fire Department, was hit and killed while crossing the road in Newtown. And a fire chaplain with the Cromwell Fire Department, Paul Krampitz, also died in a motorcycle crash in September. Now, Portland police say this crash is still under investigation. You can stick with us on air, online, and on Fox 61 Plus as we continue to learn more. Live in Portland this morning, Lindsay Kane, Fox 61, Connecticut's news station.
All right, Lindsay, thank you for that report. It is 6:05, and this morning police do have a suspect in custody after a shooting that hurt one person and rattled a whole West Hartford neighborhood.
And Fox 61's Stephen Reels caught up with neighbors who say they were stunned to hear shots ring out on Hillcrest Avenue Wednesday afternoon.
A lot of the people who live here on Hillcrest Avenue tell me they've never seen anything like what happened Wednesday afternoon in the months, years, or decades since they've lived on this street.
I heard like 3 shots, but when I look over the window, I don't know what it was.
Angel Lopez says he was at his West Hartford home on Hillcrest Avenue when gunshots rang out just before 3 p.m., but he had no idea what happened. Little did he know someone across the street had been shot.
We flooded the area with cars, and then once we locked it all down, we had the detectives, you've seen some of them responding now, to actually work the scene.
Police found one victim at the scene who was taken to the hospital. Luckily, their injuries were not life-threatening. Yet it was still a moment that had people like Eric V rushing to check on their loved ones.
I got family that live over here, but this is a nice place. I never heard of this. They terrified. This never happened. They're scared.
A quick response soon saw this scene come to an end with what police called an isolated incident with no threat to public safety.
We've arrested one suspect. They're in custody right now, and we have recovered one firearm.
Still, this night left people like Lopez on edge as they head to their homes and prepare for what tomorrow brings.
I moved out just like 3 or 4 months ago. They told me it's a nice place to live.
And what do you think?
I don't know now.
West Hartford police say they are still investigating the incident, so we're going to be keeping you up to date on air and online as we learn more. But for now, in West Hartford, Stephen Reels, Fox 61, Connecticut's news station.
That's Stephen, thanks. Excessive and unnecessary spending and a lack of oversight. Those are just some of the conclusions from an investigation into Connecticut's state colleges and universities system. Fox 61's political reporter Emma Wolfhorst spoke with the state comptroller about some questionable transactions that his team says it uncovered.
Yeah, the governor asked Comptroller Sean Scanlon to look into CSCU's financial records. And Scanlon says what his office found was a systemic problem of inappropriate spending.
Disregard for financial practices and procedures, inadequate reporting, misuse of state property, and above all, poor judgment.
That's what the comptroller's new audit of the state's college and university system, CSCU, shows.
This, in my mind, and based on our findings, is a systemic problem.
The comptroller's office reviewed more than 3 years of CSCU's financial records from July 1st, 2021 to October of this year. CSCU provided the comptroller with information for about 800,000 transactions, totaling $1.6 billion.
The things we found range from expensive meals to livery services to room service to dry cleaning.
While Scanlon says this issue was not about one person, the office did focus on CSCU's chancellor, Terrence Chang.
He spent about $19,000 in the period of 3 fiscal years that we looked at on meals.
That $19,000 was about 70% of the chancellor's total transactions. Chang also lives outside Connecticut, and Scanlon says he utilized a car service despite having a state-issued vehicle.
The chancellor certainly utilized poor judgment given the financial stress that the system he oversees is currently under.
In addition to the audit, the comptroller put out 10 suggested solutions for CSCU, ranging from establishing centralized system-wide spending policies to requirements for submitting transactions to the comptroller's office. Scanlon says he's already shared these with the state legislature and is confident they will be instituted next session.
I think it makes it harder for that system to come before the legislature and say we need more funding for the things we need to do. But I do not believe the students of the system system should be punished for the mistakes of the executives.
And state legislative Republicans are also responding to the report. House and Senate minority leaders issued a joint statement calling for Chancellor Chang to be fired and saying, quote, the troubling transactions revealed in today's report may well be just the tip of the iceberg. The next state legislative session convenes in just 3 weeks. In the studio, Emma Wolforst, Fox 61, Connecticut's news station.
In Rocky Hill, firefighters acted quickly after a vehicle went up in flames. This all happened just before 3:30 yesterday afternoon in the Big Y parking lot on Elm Street. This morning, we don't know what may have sparked the flames, but crews believe the fire started in the engine. The fire department says no one was hurt and none of the other vehicles nearby were damaged.
Court documents show that the Wisconsin school shooter brought 2 handguns with her to school on the day of the shooting. And police said she had been in contact with a California man who they say was planning to attack a government building. Now, police said that 15-year-old girl shot and killed a student and teacher before shooting herself. 2 other students are in critical condition with gunshot wounds. This all happened Monday at Abundant Life Christian School in Madison. Police said they still don't know why she did it. A judge ordered that California man to turn over his guns.